Welcome back to Pursue the Dream Outdoors. So I told you before, I'm a big time bow hunter, and I love it. Most of the time when you see me with my bow in my hand, I'm chasing after a mature whitetail. Sometimes I'll sneak a hog hunt in every now and then because I'm down here in Florida. But as I've grown as a bow hunter, I've realized how hard it is to get in front of a mature deer, period, gun, bow, or whatever, and to do it with your bow. It just makes it that much more fulfilling and exciting. So I told you I like to chase these mature deer, and every now and then I sneak a little dink in on you. This week's going to be a dink. I actually it's a pretty good story. So I had permission to hunt a piece of property for a pretty good while, and it came up for sale. So I was pretty sure that with the changing of the ownership that I was probably going to lose this piece of property. It wasn't very big, and figured whoever was going to get it was probably going to build a house there and probably wouldn't enjoy me hunting in their backyard. So anyway, I thought about it for a little while, and as I got to thinking about it, I ended up buying the piece of property just so I would have it, because it was one of the best pieces of property that I'd ever hunted, and especially bow hunted. For whatever reason, it just funneled the deer through there, and especially during the rut, the bucks would just funnel right through this piece of property. So knowing that, I ended up purchasing the property, and it came up for sale mid-July, and by the time everything was all said and done, it was mid-August, and I had quit doing all the things that I usually do during that time period because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to hunt it or not. So didn't want to put in all the work to get no reward. So got back to doing the things that I usually do on this piece of property, and had about a month till bow season opened up when everything was finalized, and got everything going. And as luck would have it, the week before bow season opens up, get a phone call from work, and boss man says we're headed to Missouri and get ready to leave on Monday. So the third day of bow season, I'm sitting in a truck headed to Missouri, and just bought a piece of property that to bow hunt on, and didn't know when I was coming home, or didn't know how much I was going to get to hunt. So finally made it back, and it was about mid-October, which is, I had made it back about a week before I was really going to start kicking in and really going to start seeing some bucks up, running around, chasing does and stuff. So I was pretty excited about that. Well, as luck would have it, when I got back, they said, just wash your clothes and get ready, because you're fixing to go back out of town again. You got 8 days, and you're headed back out of town. And I was like, oh, this is wonderful. So my ride home from Missouri, I'm thinking, I'm catching it just right, and I'm fixing to hit the rut, and I'm going to have pretty good opportunities to kill some deer. And by the time I get home, I'm thinking, man, my opportunities are going to be slim to none. So about the third or fourth day of my little break there from work, I was sitting one afternoon, and a little buck comes walking by, and I'd already made up my mind when I bought the piece of property, since I knew, when I'd be losing the hunting rights, that was going to be my decision. I was going to try to focus on killing some bigger deer and letting these smaller deer grow and see what they may turn into. So I'd already made up my mind I wasn't going to shoot a little buck. But put in the situation that I wasn't going to have many opportunities to hunt, I was looking at him, and the longer he stood there, the more I got to thinking about back straps, and the less I got to thinking about antlers. So y'all watch this video here and see what happens. So as you can tell from the shot in that video, it was not a good shot. It was terrible. So the deer, I went back and played it several times and looked at it. The deer actually did duck. He was quartering to me, but he had stood there so long. I had him ranged at about 30 yards, and he was focused on some does at the other end of the food plot. Don't know really where he was going to head after that, but quartering to me, and I was like at 30 yards, and I was pretty confident and steady. I was thinking, I'm going to get one lung and a liver, maybe a little bit further track job, but it's going to be, won't be that bad. So definitely that arrow did not end up where I remember the pin was at. I held it tight to his shoulder, and when I squeezed it off, I knew that it wasn't where I wanted it. And as luck would have it, within 5 minutes of me making the shot, a rainstorm come up, as so often does down here in Florida. Afternoon showers. One of those afternoon showers just started coming through within 5 minutes, and I'm thinking, now I've done compounded this situation. It's twice as bad. Not only do I got a deer that's probably not going to leave a good blood trail because he's hit high and back, now it's going to rain and wash out what little blood trail I have. So I just hopped out of the blind real quick, made the decision. It had only been 5 minutes, and I was going to see at least which way the blood trail was headed, or maybe if I could slip up, maybe he didn't run that far, I could slip up and maybe get another arrow in this deer. After all the misfortunate events that had occurred throughout the season and throughout that afternoon, I actually ended up walking up on this deer, and he hadn't made it 50 yards, and I don't know if he just had already expired and just kind of crashed this way, or if this fence had actually stopped him from running further, but he had run his main beam through a barbed wire fence and was tangled up in it, so I don't know if that's what slowed him down, or like I said, if he'd already crashed there. But ended up finding the deer within 50 yards and 10 minutes of the shot, so it was a fairly quick and clean kill. Even though that's not where you would want to shoot one, it actually severed, after I got it all cleaned out and was looking at him, I actually severed the main artery that runs down the spine. So like I said, within 10 minutes I found the deer, and he was already expired. So really fortunate for me. One of those things, as you go through your bow hunting career, you learn little lessons and things, and definitely a lot of learning experiences and a lot of things that be taken from that. Thanks for watching. I'll tease you that next week there is a little bit bigger deer that comes through, and we'll see what that opportunity leads to. But after I got back off my second trip, we had still some good hunting going on. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and follow me as I pursue the dream.